Hey guys, what's up? It's Hippokittie. I haven't made a unique intro for movie reviews or music reviews and stuff. Well, I've done band reviews and stuff, but whatever. Today we're actually doing a movie review. I have only done one of the other ones of these, so I'm probably gonna get a couple more of these busted out. Today we're gonna do something a little bit special. Not only are we gonna be reviewing a movie, we're gonna be reviewing it in a very unique way. Well, unique for me, at least. I'm not sure if other people have done it. I haven't watched everybody. Anyway, we're going to be doing Existenz, or Existenz, however you want to pronounce it. But we're not going to just be doing just a standard review. We're going to be doing it with virtual reality. Yeah. So let's get to it. Whoa. This is trippy. The color's a bit off though. Looks like everything's screened in. Whoa. It's like I can touch it but I don't feel it. Whoa, my cat's here. That's weird. What the hell? Everything seems the same. Let's check the room. Whoa. It's all the same still. Cool. Alright. Let's just do the review, I guess. Well, that's not the same. So I'm gonna just do these dishes. Alright. So let's do it in here. Alright. So before we get into the movie, I will be warning right now. I'm going to be going over a lot of footage of the movie. I'm going to be cutting sound out of it. Of course. Because I don't want to get my channel shut down. No. But if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. It's a good movie to watch at least once. Because I'm going to be giving out a lot of information on this. I'm going to have to put a spoiler warning here. So, spoiler warning. I might not put anything there because I'm a little lazy sometimes. Hey. Alright, so let's get into it. Existenz is brought to us by Alliance Atlas and Serendipitous Point Films. I mean Serendipity. My apologies. And it is a David Cronenberg film. Not just a film by him, but a directed and written by, as well as visual style by David Cronenberg. Fans of Rick and Morty might recognize that name, probably from this scene right here.
Boy, Morty, I really Cronenberged the world up, didn't I? We got a whole planet of Cronenbergs walking around down there, Morty.
So with that, you know what kind of visual style to go with this. It is starring Jennifer Jason Leigh and Jude Law, which you might recognize from other things. So, from here, we'll let you see the intro from one of the characters, the very first scene in the movie.
Existenz. Written like this. One word. Small e, capital X, capital Z.
And unlike what you would believe, it's not a male enhancement pill. It's actually a virtual reality game based in the future where virtual reality systems are commonplace and pretty much are organic beings. As seen here, there are some people that are a little bit off.
Dictator?
So you'll want to watch this guy as we come through the scenes.
I have to scan you.
I mean, look at him. He seems so out of place. And here you get to see the actual game system they call game pods. And as she massages and loves it like it's her pet, you see that the umbilical cords connect to her and the other machines, which are called slave pods. Now, I told you to watch this guy. And you see him pulling out his old version of the game system. Looks a lot more plasticky. Inside is a little secret. A gun made out of bone. And as he runs up to them, no one notices. No one says anything. No one stops him.
Death to the demoness Allegra Geller. No!
And from that you can tell that he pretty much does not like virtual reality. But he gets taken care of relatively quickly. After, of course, killing 2 people. Well, shooting 2 people, killing 1. But he's dealt with really quickly. Not the most original idea for a movie, but still relatively one that's not done as much. The whole idea of virtual reality, come on, it's really cool. And they touch on the idea of if virtual reality becomes a big thing, these people will be going against it, which I've seen a few times. So it could work. And from there, he gets told to take her and take her to safety. So they go ahead and go for a quick ride where we introduce to something new.
What's that?
My pink phone. Ted Pikel.
Call it a pink phone. Verbally, I hear pig phone. That's what I hear when he says it. I don't hear pink phone. But the subtitle says pink phone. Why not a regular phone? What's wrong with a regular phone? Why does it have to be this weird squishy thing? And then again, this movie was made before smartphones, so all you had to deal with before was bricks like the Nokia. The big brick that's unbreakable but only had like Snake on it. So maybe it was a more practical idea at the time. I don't know. After that, she finds out he doesn't actually have what they refer to as a bioport.
Where's your bioport?
And
they do it at malls. It's like getting your ears
it's
pierced.
commonplace in this case, but he doesn't have it because of his fears.
I've read all about it.
So she goes through and guilts him into going through and getting it. Talking about how he wants to be a game designer but has never played her games and how wonderful her games are. And she can only trust people that have played her games. And he says this.
Unregistered bioport installed. At about midnight, we just drive up to your local country gas station, right?
And there's that local country gas station with the gas attendant gas.
Bioport. Now, that's a sort of hole in your spine, isn't it?
Oh yes, let's talk about trusting of the guy at the gas station in the middle of nowhere, piercing your spine. I don't even trust my big chain gas station's food half the time. Why would I trust a gas station mechanic to pierce my spine? Come on, like, you're just asking for trouble at that point. At this point, Willem Dafoe talks to them and realizes that she is the game designer that changed his life. So him and the main character guy start talking about bioports and the games and all this nonsense. I just kind of fast forward it because I don't want to have to bore you with it. And then you get to her and her weirdness. Touching, feeling, smelling, listening to everything. As if she's trying to get an idea of what it's like so she can put it in her games. And then from there you see some of the bad CGI in this movie. This weird mutated amphibian thing. Little problems going on where his fear takes over because he finds out that the gas station guy's only done 2 other people. But luckily she talks him into it, he gets it done and all this stuff. So it's time to play the game. But oh, there's gonna be a big problem. And here it goes.
Don't be ludicrous.
Shit! Michael! I can't believe it. You blew my pod! I jacked you into my pod, and you obviously panicked. Now it's totally fucked!
Okay, I want to interject here for a second. Why piercing the spine? Why not do what Hackside did with the whole laser in the brain? No piercing, no frying, no like electric shock possibilities, no blowing up your console because you're nervous. Like, you're gonna be nervous. It's your first time being inserted into with a weird umbilical cord thing. Like, you're going to get nervous. It's scary. It's like the first time you picked up a controller with analog sticks after playing with the one with just 2 buttons. You don't know what you're doing. Come on. What, like, seriously. What the hell?
It's not your fault. It's my fault.
Told ya.
It's all over the countryside. $5 million for her dead body. No questions asked. Seems there's a big bonus for killing Allegra Geller's latest game, or whatever it is.
So with that, Gas gets killed without remorse, and they go to a ski lodge in the middle of nowhere where it's too hot to ski. Where we see this guy again. Little friend. Yay! And then we're introduced to the obligatory German doctor that you might recognize from his other movies like Fifth Element. And then you get to see what the game system looks on the inside. All flesh.
Neural webbing. You see? Looks like an animal in there. Feels like you're operating on somebody's pet dog. It's grown from fertilized amphibian eggs stuffed with synthetic DNA. Only Antenna Research has this. Wow. Where do the batteries go?
The living organic game system has chips in it, and the game is stored in what looks like memory webbing that is made of tissue. But let that sink in for a second. The game system is organic organism that is grown and put together just for you. It makes a little bit of sense that they call the extra ones that don't have the games on them slave pods. What do I know? And from there, we get to see what the game looks like in all its glory. Oh, the game's so amazing! It's full motion video! Then again, real virtual reality would be like that if it was to be believed. Maybe Sega was onto something with the full motion video games back in the day. Might have to revisit Sega CD. And from there, we get to see what the game looks like, see what they're doing, blah de blah de blah. But then we're introduced to this guy.
These are delicate. You got to be careful.
I can't understand this guy half the time, and his accent is always so weird. Like, I'll show you like a couple of small scenes with him in a second, but the more you listen to him, the harder it is to understand him. I'll let the characters speak about it afterwards too, but if AI acted like this in a game in real life, I'm pretty sure I would be pretty upset.
What you're looking for. Who sent you? Yes, you're right. That is all that matters.
To the game.
Yeah, kind of disappointing.
Nader?
Yeah, he's not a very well-drawn character. His dialogue was just so-so. His accent.
Yeah.
After the movie does its job for me, we find ourselves in Trout Farm, where the game system's parts are made inside the game, which is confusing. And we're introduced to this guy.
May I suggest the Chinese restaurant in the forest? But I do suggest you order the special, and don't take no for answer.
After that bit of exposition of what to do, what's going to happen next, we get to see him go back to the back and start delivering items, just like playing a random MMO, where he runs into his friend.
Contact Larry Ashen.
But she's not herself, as she seems to be repeating just like the other character, as if she is not real herself. After a bit of talking, they go over to the Chinese restaurant and order the special.
The special?
The special is for special occasions.
And makes up this story.
Her birthday.
But why? What's wrong? I mean, aren't you dying to see what's so special
And
about
here
the
we
special?
get to see how we pause the game, which is a little bit weird,
disconnected from my real life.
Still pretty funny. But he does bring up good points before he pauses it.
Existenz is paused!
And we go back to the real world and see that everything seems to be okay.
I wonder if that really works. The review is now paused. I guess it didn't. Remind me not to do that again. That was jarring. That was weird. Oh well.
And then the special arrives, and this is quite a treat. It'll turn even the strongest of stomachs. But, of course, he starts taking part in eating it, with the explanation that it's something his character is meant to do. After a short, disgusting scene of eating this gross food, we start seeing something that looks very, very familiar. The bone gun from the beginning is back. And with that, we get to see another brutal death
What can I
in
do
this
to make
movie
your lunch
from a
more
tooth
pleasant?
gun. With a funny line.
I found this in my soup, and I'm very upset.
And then from there, there's a short battle, and then back in the kitchen, we see our friend from back at Trout Farm.
Something's touching my arm. It's just not one of those creatures, probably. It might just be my cat.
We love him.
Yeah, apparently he's part of some underground resistance
Now
that
that you
hates
have
video
proven
games.
to be true and trustworthy realists.
And from that, we go back in and we hear the character talking about how he feels like he's going a little bit crazy because of the way the game is. Which we are then introduced to a stupid plot point.
A diseased pod. You poured into that?
Yes, exactly. Help me.
She ports herself in and he helps. And shortly after, she responds like this.
Oh, God.
What's happening?
Because the disease is spreading to her.
Something's wrong.
So, after a quick bit of trying to figure out how to get her out, this guy comes and decides to destroy it. Fire. Because it turns out, he's a double agent! After he kills it, the spores spread into the factory, destroying all the components in there. And they come back to reality.
It's happened.
Which introduces another
It's come
stupid
back
plot
here with
point.
We brought it back
Bringing
from
back
Existenz.
diseases
Back, I
from
can't
the game
understand what you're saying.
because of
We
an
brought
infection.
the disease back with us.
Really? Really? If you are sick and you try to play the game system, you make the game system sick. Really? that furthers the idea that an organic game system doesn't make sense.
I know what happened.
We learn that the German guy betrayed them.
Oh, the German guy betrayed them. Ooh, at the ski lodge that can't be skied at. Ooh, I didn't see that coming.
And from there, we start having confusion of what's real and what isn't.
I think we're still inside the game. I think your pod's out there somewhere safe. I think it's all right to let go of this one. This pod, it's not the real one.
Oh, did you catch it? Did you catch the oh so subtle speech? They can't tell if they're in the game or not. Real concept that would be a problem with virtual reality becomes full 100%. Not like what we have today. I'm sitting here in a virtual world right now. I don't feel this. I know this isn't real. Everything coloring is a little bit off. But still, once we perfect it, come on. It's going to be virtually impossible to tell reality from virtual reality. It's a good concept if it hadn't already been done. But can't fault it. It's got a good argument.
From there, she goes ahead and kills the German guy just because he betrayed her. And it's done in a pretty fun way. Like right here. Boom. Dead.
Do you want me to spoil the ending? Do ya? Do ya? 'Cause I'm going to anyway. Just so I can get the review over and get back to my reality. I want to go play video games.
And from there, we get this crazy, stupid speech that starts off from this guy.
The fuck are you doing?
Michael, he was only a game character. I didn't like the way he was messing with my mind.
You didn't like that, so you killed him.
He's only a game character.
Allegra. What if we're not in the game anymore? If we're not, then you just killed someone real.
From that, she talks about him and talks back. And it turns out he was her assassin the whole time.
I knew that you were my real assassin.
And she knew about
when you
it.
pointed the gun at me in the Chinese
See, I cut out a scene earlier where she put something in his back,
understand that.
which turns out to be
You're dead.
a grenade. And she kills him and starts celebrating, where we find out, oh no, she has a controller on her arm and a weird sensor on her head. Oh, the church pews from the beginning.
Anybody want a bowl of hot and sour soup? It's on me.
Yes, the whole movie was in a game. So it was a game within a game, which is just crazy enough as it is. Inception. Inception is what it was. They sit and talk about everything, talk about how there was an anti-game vibe going through the entire game, which wasn't programmed by the designer. And then our two main characters come back and give us a big shock. They were anti-virtual reality.
Death to the demon, you bloody mirage!
Death to pilgrimage! Death to transcendence!
No. You don't have to shoot me. Hey, tell me the truth. Are we still in the game?
I'll give this movie this. The practical effects is really good. The acting from pretty much everyone except for the main girl is really good. I didn't touch on that much just because, but she seems like she's just reading a script. She is talking like this, and she acts really weird just to be weird. It was trying to be edgy, I believe. When it came out, it was nothing like it at the time. The movies that followed afterwards, like The Matrix and stuff like that, I'm not even sure if it was after or at the same time. I was a kid when they both came out, so I think The Matrix came out afterwards. Don't quote me on it. But it's the same kind of concept. You get put into this virtual world and you get out and you can't tell if you're really there or not. That's going to be a big concept that's going to continue. Altogether, I give this one a 4 potato. 4. Mainly just because it's a good story. The acting, aside from the main girl, it's actually really well done. The premise makes sense. The motivations for most of the characters make sense. The twist at the ending there was really good. I've watched this movie multiple times. I have most of it memorized at this point. Like the layout. I don't remember all the words. That'd be too much. But even to this day, I can't tell in the ending if they were in reality or not. Just like that one Chinese character that had a very small role. So yeah, it's a good movie. It's been out for a long time now. So I really think it's due for a re-release or a remake. And I'm not talking about like Evil Dead style remake. I want there still to be practical effects. I want them to update the technology to be more modern technology. But I don't want them to do CGI crap. Because that's one downside of this. The practical effects are really nice. The organic game system as it pulsates as it's trying to play looks real. The plug that goes into your spine looks like an umbilical cord. It looks like the real thing. The creatures that he's eating in the Chinese restaurant, those looked real. That looked like disgusting, but real. The bone gun, as ridiculous as that fucking thing was, looked like it was real bone. I like that. When they put the CGI moving things in, it looked out of place. The shadowing, the movement, everything. It might have been because of the product of its time. I mean, look at Reptile from Mortal Kombat. But still, if they remake it, they need to make sure it is still practical effects. Hell, hire the same team that did it originally. Or reuse the old props. Just modernize the rest of the technology. Whatever. But don't, if you are watching Hollywood, which I really doubt, but if you are watching, if you want to remake a movie that was different and unique and will draw some attention, Existenz is one of them. And it's one of those movies where if you change too much about what made the original good, you will ruin it. Anyway, the review's over. So, how do I get out? That pause didn't work, so let me try this. The review is now complete. Man, everything seems like I'm still in the game. Coloring's normal. Whatever. Doesn't feel right. Oh.
What was that? Wait. I thought I already ended the game. What? Was I in it the whole time? Am I in it now? Nah. Of course. I'm back. I'm back for real. It was just Dagon touching my arm. I love him, man. Mwah. Alright, guys. Well, this is Hippokittie. Peace.